Okay, hey everyone, this is another Building Blocks with the first daily with Dragon's Base cards. It actually got released this morning and I scrambled to pay extremely out of pocket to grab some cards from it. Because, all of the cards are super expensive the day they come out. Like Voice of Resurgence was like 35 tickets this morning. But anyway, as you can notice via your screen, I'm playing Esper Control today because it's a deck I very much like in this format. And I'm tired of playing, basically just tired of playing creature decks. It's pretty traditional. The main, what's this set called? Dragon's Base cards I'm playing. I have some Render Silence, mainly because it's a little better than Psychic Strike. Like, Psychic Strike's a fine card. It's much easier to cast than Render Silence. But Render Silence does have the benefit of being a pretty good late game card, especially against aggro when they can just like try to bait out something, and then you counter it, and you don't have to worry about anything else they do that turn. It's pretty nice. It's not the best, but it's much better than cancel. So sometimes you just need to cancel. And I have a pretty sweet package of removal spells, all from Dragon's Maze Warp Physique. It's basically just a removal spell that gets a lot less trouble, like regenerators and large creatures. And the best addition from Dragon's Maze is definitely Far and Away. This is one of the better 2-for-1s in the format because you can bounce creature and then they have to get rid of one. But the main thing is you can bounce tokens and make them sacrifice things they don't want to. You can use either half to either effect. It's a very versatile, very good card. You can say whatever you want about it, as long as it's good, pretty much. It's a very, very effective card. And a trend... it's hard to notice trends, actually, because there's only been like 2 dailies recorded that I can look at for events. But no one's really playing Blood Baron. People are still playing Obsidian. I think Blood Baron's a very good card right now because it's got lifelink and it's a 4/4. The only thing it dies to in the format is Mtgo Mortars, and that's pretty much it. Advent of the Worm. It dies to Advent of the Worm if you attack into it. Pit Fight, things like that. So cards that are very rarely played except for Mtgo Mortars. Like, it can't die to Putrefy, it can't die to Abrupt Decay, it can't die to basically anything. Far and Away kills it, as does Turn and Burn, but most people aren't playing Turn and Burn yet, so. But this card basically can just shut down entire aggro decks. Just you play on the board and they can't get rid of it, and that's lifelink, so it can block things, gain life, and allow your other things to do it. Because obviously the way control plays out is you get rid of their threats one by one, and then you stick a Blood Baron, which is a short of mid-range threat, and he keeps your life total healthy while killing them, which is very, very helpful. And of course, double angels for angel recursion. 2 syncopates, I'm not sure if it's right. I think 3 is a better number, but I couldn't really find room to play all the cards I wanted to, so I just played 2, and I have 4 Sphinx's Revelations. The board is a bit of a mess, to be honest. As I said, I haven't played any Dragon's Maze dailies yet, so I just sort of came up with this on the fly. I have Obstots in here for the control matchup because as good as Blood Baron is against aggro decks and mid-range decks and all sorts of decks like that, it's not that good against control because though it has pro black, it dies very easily to Verdict and Far and Away, things like that. And it's just a 4/4, so it's not that good. You rarely get them less than 10 life and have 30, so Blood Baron never becomes a 10/10, so it's just like a 4/4 that dies to a lot of things. So you'd want to board an Obsidian, which also dies to Far and Away, but does not die to Wrath, and has a continuous effect whether you play it or not, whereas, because of the draining. So you much rather have Obsidian against control than not. And of course, Psychic Strikes and Dispels are also for control. I have another Blood Baron in here for the aggro decks that I'm talking about. I have 4 Sin Collectors in here. This actually goes in a variety of matchups. A bunch of green-white decks especially play like Call of the Conclave, Advent of the Worm, Selesnya Charm, those cards that all make creatures. They count as creatures, but they are instant or sorceries, so you can just grab those for free. It's very good. It's also good for scouting, like if your opponent has cards that you want to play around. Like you can play around Sin Collector, see their hand, maybe take something, and then know whether to Wrath or just to keep up your removal spells. All in all, a very solid card. I would not be opposed to playing like 4 of these in the main deck, but at this time I just like didn't find room for it. I wanted to play a bunch of 2-drops removal spells and be pretty creature light overall. But this is a card I'm actually very happy with. It's one of the better cards from Dragon's Maze. And just like some fillers rounded out, I have some Dramatic Rescues against pretty much just mono red. And a Detention Sphere for catch-alls, like Dead Ridge Chant. It's a very good card that just got released. Things like that Esper doesn't have ready answers to. I honestly have no idea what the field's going to be like, because these dailies are kind of all over the place. People are playing Jund, people are playing mono red, people are playing Esper. I've seen quite a bit, so who knows what we'll see today. But hopefully we'll be able to make it out alive with this. Pretty cool Esper deck, I think. We'll see.